Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on the break!
with Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Monday, September 29th, 2025, season 21, episode number 46. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We are presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. Let's talk about it. Cowboys play a... Are y'all breaking
You're
our
right
stuff?
there.
What's going on?
Are you all right?
Well, $10 billion company. We got the worst chairs in the league.
When I get
The best chairs in the league.
Worst chairs in the league.
When I get here,
Great
they
studio,
say
bad chairs.
They say, Vach, no matter what you do, the first rule you need to learn working here, Vach. When I was going through .com orientation, they say if you're gonna sit in these chairs, you got to look at the camera and smile and nod your head slow while y'all doing the intro, and you got to turn around. If I'm in broadcasting position now, my big ass can't turn. I'm stuck right here. So I got to scoot back a little bit to turn. But if I'm back here where I can turn, now my microphone ain't picking up my voice all that well. So if we had better chairs, if we had chairs that was good as LG OLED Evo, I wouldn't have no problem, Derek Eagleton. But, you know, we got terrible chairs. So,
Well, we'll see what we can do about
Is
it.
this the Cuban Missile Crisis today?
Thank you,
damn
Chris.
straight it is.
Appreciate that, Chris. We got a lot to talk about. I don't know how we ended up on that, but man, there's so much to talk about. Cowboys, and this is the first time I will ever say this, and I've been doing this for 27 years. Cowboys end up in a tie.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often. I think the last time it happened to the Cowboys was in 1969. I was not alive. Brian was.
I was at the game.
You were there. Yeah.
It's at the Cotton Bowl against 49ers. It was
Yeah.
unfortunate. Yeah, we just didn't get it done that day.
Yeah. So we add to that. They end up in a tie last night. I'll just say, and I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but I think it is the weirdest thing in all of sports
There's a rant coming.
to have sports that ends in a tie. The whole point of competition
In Europe, they
is-
get used to this.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I'm like, the whole point of sports is at the end of the game, somebody will be declared a winner and someone will be declared a loser. And last night, as that game ended, there were a bunch of Cowboys fans, there were a bunch of Packers fans all in this stadium, and it was an eerie silence because nobody knew how to react because your team didn't win and your team didn't lose. What do you guys think about that?
This offense is good enough to where you can compete with anybody. But this defense is so bad, you're going to have to compete with everybody. That's kind of how I look at it.
That's good.
You
That's a
know
good way
what
to
I'm
put it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you go out there against the Eagles and the Packers. They're boogeymen for somebody. And you go out there and put some easy points up on them. But, boy, when you play against the Giants and the Bears, you know, one cat just lost his job after just having a great day versus you. Another cat go out there and fumble around with the Raiders versus having a fantastic. You have to fight for your life in those games, too. So, just as good as you feel about this tie versus the Packers, a team that's been a boogeyman for you, you'll go out there and look crazy versus the Jets next week if you don't bring your lunch pail with you. So that's just where we are.
Yeah, I think we all share the same feeling. I feel like the NFL should change the rules and come up with something different where now you're having to kick for field goals and have maybe 5 different distances, and out of the 5, whoever gets the most wins or something. Get creative, because I'm with you. Like, what do we do now? Like, it sucks. It sucks. What do you do with a result like this? There's good and bad. Definitely, when you talk about somebody else scoring 40 points on you, the defense played bad. And even in that bad, there were little things that were good, that were like, okay, I can see us working with this and getting some improvement, but it's just very difficult to digest. And also looking at the schedule, I always have this, the whole schedule that comes in our magazine, what is it called? Star Magazine?
Magazine, yep.
Star Magazine. It's great. Go get it.
What's the name of it?
Yeah. Great magazine.
Well, we got the draft magazine. I don't even know. So, but the Star magazine, that's where you can get the schedule.
It's our season
in there.
preview. It's our season preview magazine.
It's great because it gives you the whole schedule. Anyways, I go in every Monday. I go and write the score in there, and I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, man,
44.
You look at the Eagles game, and I still feel you should have freaking won that game. And then looking at this one, I'm like, wow, a second off you winning that game. You could have gotten that as well. So it's just, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later, but I'm with you there. I don't know what to do right now with this result.
The Players Association will not allow you to play more. They worry about that. They worry about player safety. And so that's a fight that you're going to have to deal with. We've all kind of got accustomed to the college football way of doing things. I was part of a 7 overtime game at Texas A&M and LSU where they changed the rules where now you have to go out for 2.
Yeah.
I think that we're accustomed to that. I think we're okay with that. I think our fan bases are okay with that. There needs to be – we're really slow to adjust rules and say, oh, wait, the college game, but we'll take rules from the USFL or any places like that, and those rules seem to be working all right. The kickoff rule seems to be working just fine. There's different ways of doing this. The college game's got a pretty good way of doing it. You have a couple of opportunities, and then if you get the 2-point conversion or miss the extra point, then you're probably going to lose that game. Mm-hmm. But it is decided that way. But, yeah, as long as the Players Association, they're going to govern – it's 10-minute periods. It's going to be, we can't practice during the week. We can't do all these things, but it's all about player safety, and that's cool. But then you get this ties, and Jerry Jones came out yesterday and says, oh, well, ties are part of the game. Well, it used to be done a lot in the 60s, in the 70s. There were a lot of ties. Your teams would tie 2 or 3 times a year. But
teams wasn't good on offense back then.
Yeah, they just didn't have the overtime rules, and they didn't have that, and that's unfortunate. But look at the college rule. Just NFL, look at the college rule. Look how they do it. It's exciting. It's well played. It's not into 7 overtimes, but usually have a winner after the first couple. So. Yeah. Take a peek at that. You might gain something from there.
And my thing is, like, when you talk about the excitement of the game, and I get the player safety part of it, I think there are some ways you can do it where you limit the player safety ramifications. But I just look at it, I'm just like, you watch a game like that, and it's 40-40, and this morning I see it on NFL Network, and they're like, well, rewatch the game. It was a classic. And yes, it was a classic game that had an outcome that's like,
nobody won.
Right. And so I think those kind of games, they're meant for consumption of fans. Like that, those are the kind of games you love to watch, whether you're a fan of one of those teams or not. It just seems like if you can come away from that with a winner, that's when it really has meaning and it becomes really a classic game versus it ended, in a tie.
Even though that was a tie, there's some Cowboy fans that thought that was a win.
Yeah. Right.
But just because going into it, the confidence level of dealing with Green Bay's pass rush, you're down offensive linemen, you don't have CeeDee Lamb. I mean, there was a lot of things we broke down last week leading into this game. I'm sure some Cowboy fans were thinking like, damn, we could have won that game. Mm-hmm. That could have been a win, but you gave up 40 points like Ambar said. Your defense has got a lot of things it has to look at. But this is who you are. Honestly, I think this is who you are. You're the 2025 version of the Cincinnati Bengals is who you are. You're capable of hanging 40 on everybody, and you're capable. The stat is this week, you're number one going into the Monday night games, number one in offense, last in defense. Yeah. That's who you are.
And if they can just figure out how to be just mid on defense.
2 stops.
They can really.
They got stops in the first half.
They did.
They got stops in the first half.
And honestly, in the first half,
they were a much better team in the first half on defense.
The offense was struggling. The offense wasn't quite getting going there at the beginning of the game, but then they got rolling, and by then it just turned into a track meet. But Nick Eatman and I were talking this morning about it, and it was like, it really is, and this is the nature of the NFL. It is a bounce of the ball one way or the other that really determine that game, because on that final play that the Packers had, when they throw that ball and it hits Sanborn in the back, if that ball bounces up, if that ball would have maybe even sailed high, Or if maybe the clock operator wasn't so fast on the draw. I don't know. Any of those things, right? And that game is over.
Yeah.
They never kick the field goal.
Come on,
game
man.
it. The game's it. Yeah, the game's over, right? And so I just think that's the NFL. You got to play these games, but man, the NFL is they're so close between the teams. It really is and nobody will remember that small moment at the end of the season when you're tallying up the wins and losses, see who gets in the playoffs and seeding and all that stuff. But that is the reality of the NFL. It is very much a parity league, and games are decided by very, very thin margins.
We up here talking, and I'm just brainstorming while y'all talking. I'm just listening. And I've never had to brainstorm what to do after a tie before, so I just never thought. But how fire would it be is after that last field goal made us 40-40, and we line up like Jason Garrett used to do, like we'll call an offensive lineman from our team and a D-line from their team, a wide receiver, a DB, a linebacker, and a tight end, and we just do one-on-ones on the goal line.
I love that.
That'd be so hard just thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
Call Jerry, man. Call you ain't got Jerry number, do it.
I got.
Call Jerry Jr. Tell him to tell Jerry. That's hard, man. Go ahead.
Can we go back to the clock operator?
Yeah. Do you happen to know who it is?
No.
What a name? You know who it is. You don't want to out.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We're not.
I'm not gonna out it.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Come on, man. Sit on that box. Yeah.
We're not gonna do that.
Listen, man. This is you're the home team.
Yeah.
Turn the thing on and leave the room.
Yeah.
Last play of the game.
Walk out.
Just turn it on and leave and make Ron Tolbert was cool adjusting the clock all night. I have never seen an official. Please put 7:54 back on the. Thank you. Please put 5:52.
He did that 5 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen an official adjust the game clock more. This guy probably cost you the win because he kept adjusting the damn clock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just where he is. That's the way he was going to call this game, the way they were going to officiate it. You should have known. Should have known something crazy was going to happen with that guy calling the game. I mean,
Grab
he's
some
bad
nachos.
for both teams.
Just go grab some nachos.
But yeah, but
it stops so fast.
But
You
you're
would
a
think he's
clock
hovering
operator.
over the button.
Yeah, you're a clock operator, and you're the home team. Start it and get your hat and go, and make him click on there and say, "Please put 1 second on the clock. Thank you." Make them do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
The visiting team should never, ever, ever get 1 second left in a game. Never.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, huh, bro?
Somebody needs to have a word with those folks. My gosh.
Well, it was definitely a topic in the press box. I think all the media was like, "Wait, that
What are we
game should-
doing?
That game should have ended."
He couldn't wait to press that button.
Oh, it was fast. It was fast. But hey, he probably did his job as he should. We probably all just wanted him to.
Well,
be
Ron
a little bit slower.
Tolbert would come back and say, "Please add a second."
Right, I would.
He
they
was
could do it,
adjusting
yeah.
the clock the whole game. I've never seen an official do it more than him.
Yeah.
But man, don't be the home team and let that thing give a second for the visitors.
Now, my guess is in today's NFL,
There's no guess.
there is no home team. My guess is those are NFL employees who are doing the clock and all that kind of stuff.
I
It's
don't
not.
know.
I know. Back in the day, you
I
go to
don't
any
know.
high school,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah, I know.
Let it
Mr.
run.
Ron that works over in IT.
The
That's
janitor or
also
something.
So he I'll definitely let this clock run. But I don't think that you're gonna get that kind of home cooking in the NFL.
I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of games where all of a sudden it's like game over. They really don't. Yeah, it's
Well, I don't
game
think
over.
Honestly, I don't think anybody would have questioned it. It was so close. I don't think anybody would have questioned if the time did run off the clock. I think it would have been like, the time ran out of the clock. Here, game over.
How quick do they call delay a game?
Yeah.
They're like on those delay game penalties. Hey, come on, man.
All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to dive into some of the actual topics and the moments that happened in this game. We're going to talk about Dak Prescott, man. That guy is playing out of his mind right now, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll be back, DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
I'm home. Hey, Mom. Before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here. As the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, you know I take cookware seriously, especially when it comes to America's team. So when the Cowboys are away, I'm putting my Yeti cast iron skillets to work to make my game day favorites for friends and family. I'm talking chicken fried steak, skillet queso, and peach cobbler. And just like the Cowboys are forever, so are these heirloom cast iron skillets. Check out the full line of skillets on Yeti.com or at a Yeti store near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
There it is right there.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of The Break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. The segment brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, let's talk about Dak Prescott. Yesterday, he was 31 of 40, 78% completion rate, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 124.9 rating. Man, that's a really, really good stat line. And quite frankly, he has been playing like that all season. I'll ask this question. What do you guys, if I had you to isolate one thing on each side, what is the best thing that Dak Prescott is doing right now? And what is the one area where you're like, if I could get a little bit more out of Dak, this is where I'd want to see it?
I think Dak is seeing everything really well. And, Dak typically has a hard time when he's not seeing things. Also, it's interesting, too, like if you think back on Dak's bad games, it's when the defense is in man and the wide receivers really can't get off of man or whatever. It seems like the Cowboys have a better idea of how to get off coverages like that. And this could be it could go back to Mike McCarthy. He don't work it no more. If we just going to run slants and hitches, you're kind of like predictable and guys kind of hang around that line of scrimmage area. It's kind of rough to fit passes in there, but Dak is using the whole field now. You're and maybe Dak and Shotty saw something like, hey, outside the numbers is opportunities there. So Tolbert gets one outside the numbers. Pickens gets one. Turpin 5'7", Turpin's 5'7" man, get a fantastic pass right on the sideline. Beautiful throw over there. So maybe they saw something outside the numbers, but I just think that the last administration wasn't willing to use Dak in that way. If there's anything he can work better on, it'll be nitpicky to sit up here and say Dak should be better at something, but maybe shots down the field, him being careful guy to where Josh Allen would take a shot just to see. Pat Mahomes would just take a shot. Dak wouldn't risk throwing the ball into some weird coverages. He's fine taking Ferguson down under or like Williams down under. So if you had to nitpick and complain and fuss, maybe that, but I wouldn't even change that because I like not giving the ball away, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think the one thing is the check down stuff. When you sit back and watch the tape, we talked about some of the, in the Chicago game, some of the cover 2, the hole shots and stuff like that he could have taken in that game. And maybe it was something that if you do that, it's a different game. I felt like yesterday, though, he was willing to rip the ball down the field, even with not having CeeDee Lamb. Man, his receivers played really well in that football game. I know I've been very critical of Tolbert. You mentioned Turpin, man. I mean, he was fabulous yesterday. And then George Pickens got things going as well. And then two catches for Flournoy, and then he was able to get a couple first downs. So I think the only thing that would be nitpicky would be the like when he could take these shots, take it, man. You're throwing the ball well, and when your guys separate a little bit for you down there, make them pay for some bad coverage.
Yeah, I think with him, I feel like he has a completely different sense of confidence this year, and he's always been a confident guy off the field and all of that. But, there would be times where you look at close-up shots on the TV screen and his eyes would be like this, wide open, like a deer with the headlights hitting their face. But now he just has a different sense of control. He clearly is full 100% healthy. He's been using his legs, not too much to the point where it concerns you or anything, but at key moments, we saw it yesterday when he got into the end zone and he got that touchdown. Things like that, where his key moments, I feel he feels very confident with those throws. I don't want to risk getting throwing too many because then it could open up to those interceptions, that he had issues with a few years ago. But right now, there's literally nothing else that I would ask from him other than have the players around him kind of step up a little bit more. We talked about the wide receivers. Yesterday, I saw a collective use of them where they were being very productive. But now it's just starting off right from, you know what? That's something that could be. Starting off from first quarter. Start off games better. Sometimes we saw it yesterday. It takes them a little while. I think if they start like that with that up tempo right off the bat, they could potentially end up winning these games and not letting it be at the last few seconds of the game.
Speaking of those wide receivers, yesterday they were without CeeDee Lamb, but in spite of that, George Pickett's 8 of 11 targets, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches, 40 yards, and gets in the end zone for the first time in 2 years.
Great design, too.
It really was. Turpin, 3 catches for 30 yards. Jalen Tolbert, 4 for 61, and that catch down the sideline, as pretty a catch as you will see all season, and as well done. I mean, getting his feet down on that one, I didn't think he got him down, but that was a really, really well done play. You think about it from that standpoint and what the Cowboys saw yesterday. It has to make you excited if you're rooting for the Cowboys from the standpoint that this offense, even without its best playmaker, was able to put up what they were able to put up last night against what a lot of people are not talking about this morning is one of, if not the best defenses in the National Football League. For them to put up 40 points without CeeDee Lamb, I think that was a feat. Talk about the wide receivers.
How about without the offensive line, though, too? You were down a couple of guys there, and you basically held Gary off the stat sheet, and you held Micah to 1 chase down sack, if you would be honest with. But, yeah, the wide receivers, I thought this game was going to come down to a couple of different ways. Could you protect, and could the receivers get open when there was protection? And I think on both fronts it was A+ for both. They really did a great job. The receivers, the routes, Pickens was really engaged, and it might have been because Pickens had a week to know that he's going to be the number one guy. It wasn't 6 plays into the Bears game and all of a sudden he's thrown into the role of having to play that guy. But they did a great job with the guys that got the opportunity when it came to blocking, when it came to the route running, when they were trying to help each other with some of the route combinations they had. They did a really, really nice job of taking advantage of this Green Bay secondary.
I was impressed. I heading into the game, I didn't think they would be able to execute as well as they did without having CeeDee Lamb on there, mainly because we saw a taste of it. But like you said, Brian, they had time to prepare in this occasion. Now I'm a little concerned with Tyler Guyton. Him coming out and seeing because that's your third lineman there that you won't have. I'm assuming we'll see once he goes under the concussion protocol thing. But all in all, we talked about it also. I mentioned that with you not having 2 of your starters in the line, I was concerned. I'm like, okay, are they gonna be able to truly protect Dak? And we barely even saw Micah there. We saw it right at the end where I think they tried. Did it end up being a sack?
Yeah, they ended up giving a sack.
They ended up
because there was no gain. Not because he tackled him behind the line of scrimmage, because there was no gain. No gain.
Another dumb rule, but it's okay.
I just I hate bringing up the old coaches here, but
you will.
I hate bringing them people up.
The past is what makes the present.
the past administration, it seems like they just weren't on the same page and all that. I think Dak and Shotty have a really good feel of like making changes in the middle of the game. Like if it's not going your way in the first quarter, and me and Brian had a talk about it, I'm sure we can break it all down, like slow starts and all this kind of stuff. But it seems like once they figure out what the other side is doing, their foot is on the gas and they don't stop. So now you're like, and it's slippery because your defense is giving up points quickly, right? So now you're like, all right, do we have to go quickly, or do you take the time? Because even in the Giants game, the Giants held the ball, held you down, and you kind of went 3 and out, but they held the ball for the whole first quarter almost. But even after that, you were able to go back on the field and drive, and now you got 30 points on the board, 40 points on the board. I just wonder, is starting slow gonna hurt them if they don't make changes on defense versus, hey, we're starting slow, but once we get it figured out, we here and we don't stop. So I would love to see what that looks like next week versus the Jets.
You guys have mentioned Micah last night versus this offensive line. Terrence Steele, Tyler Guyton, Nate Thomas even in the game there toward the end. What did they do to manage Micah last night? Because he really didn't have the impact that we've seen him have at other times. He ended up with that 1 sack, and let's be clear, that was a pretty big play. Because if he doesn't chase him down from behind, Dak has a little more time. Maybe Dak gets closer to the goal line. Maybe Dak gets in. Maybe Dak finds a receiver. Like, there were other things that could have happened if he doesn't make that play. So you got to give him credit for that. But all things considered, you go through a day and you only allow Micah 1 sack. I think that's a pretty good day. What did they do to get there?
Well, they say 8 pressures they gave him credit for, but man, I mean, there were some times where Dak was able to get rid of the football before Micah got there, so good for them on that. Just the things that kind of we went into the game talking about. You needed to space him, you needed to chip him, you needed to try and cut him. I think the one time they tried to cut him, actually Ferguson tripped on on Smith's feet and then kind of went forward. I thought he was trying to kind of cut block Micah there, but he really wasn't. He got tripped up. But they did the things. I mean, there was a couple times where Tolbert was playing tight wing, and Tolbert just threw his body into Micah just to try and get him a little bit off balance. Ferguson did that as well. They hit him with a back. They hit him with Hunter Lipke one time. So what they were trying to do is they just didn't give him a read initially in that game. It's like he was getting hit from all angles. But what they started doing late in the game is they just started single blocking him. They figured out that, like, listen, we're going into this thing with max protection in mind and trying to eliminate him and keep him at arm's length. But they wore him down. The way they played him, they wore him down. And then so he wasn't as effective at the end of the game rushing the passer. But a good job by a good game plan going in with all the things they did to him. And then really nice job by the 3 tackles when they got opportunities to block him. It was crazy sometimes, but for the most part, they didn't allow him to have any major damage to you.
Honestly, Brian, I think Michael got wore down over the game. Like they pulled at him, and they just threw different guys at him, but like mentally and physically, like they're letting him run upfield to kind of read him a little bit. So they're making them think about stuff, and that like thinking wears you down. Right out there when you running around full speed and thinking, like, it wears you down. And let's just be clear here. I don't want to paint this as Michael was great and we had to throw a fullback at him or it wasn't going to work. Tyler Guyton in the run game was physical this week. Shouts out to him. Big claps for him. Terrence Steele, I know we like to talk about Terrence and some of his downfalls. He was physical in the run game. Nate Thomas, shouts out to you being able to play right tackle, then going back to left tackle and being physical in the game. So by the time we got to quarter 3, quarter 4, we just like, all right, just single him one-on-one, and we was able to live that way. So Michael Cole got wore down for sure. My bad.
Michael Cole.
Yeah,
Michael Cole.
Michael.
Dallas got the touchdown, I believe, to Ferguson with him being off the field. That's what you got to do when their best players aren't on. I always complain about they never take advantage of the situation. But their best defensive player was off the field. What did you do? You drove and you got a touchdown out of it, and then he came out of the blue tent after the touchdown. So good for the Cowboys offense taking advantage of that.
Javonte Williams physical too. That's having to tackle him all day. That'll wear you down also.
Yeah, yesterday he was 20 carries, 85 yards, 4.3 average, and a touchdown. And again, this is against, I think they're number one. But
they were number one
rush defense in the National Football.
Yeah,
they do not allow much, and he had, I thought, He continues to be an extremely physical runner, which I think just translates it. Whatever defense you play, if you have a physical runner, they have a way of just kind of wearing that defense down over time, and you just keep running him. And I was really impressed with what he was able to do. Sure. All right, we're going to take our final break. We will come back, and we'll flip over to the defensive side of the ball. We got some things we need to talk about there. They said there would be changes. Were there changes, and how much does those changes matter? We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Mm-hmm. Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star.
Question, sir. I'm looking in the chat here. We got 1,200 people watching live, by the way. That's much more than any other show doing this.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Shouts out to Will Still sent a raid over here for all our viewers. But somebody said, Derek, do we get sounds of the sideline for a tie?
Yeah, we do. Okay. No, last night I was after the game. I went down.
First half only.
I went down to the locker room and I ran into my guy Alex Lee. And for those of you that don't know, he is the brains behind Sounds of the Sideline. He has developed that thing from where it was when we first started doing to what it is today. So he's a really, really, really creative editor. And he was like, so do we get to do it this week? I was like, yeah, you got some good stuff? He was like, we got some great stuff. So yes, we are doing it. It will be coming out, I'm guessing sometime tomorrow late. But we'll have something for you guys. So stay tuned.
Shouts out to chat. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's talk about the defense. They did talk last week. Coach Shoddy talked about the fact that they were going to change up some things. He said we changed some schematic things. We'll change maybe some things with some players. What did you guys notice as differences in how they approached yesterday's game? And did those things actually make a difference?
Shamar James and Leofau are noticeably faster than what you had out there. Yeah. Still a rotation at linebacker. And, you know, it's interesting. I would love to ask the coordinator about Sanborn. The social media machine kind of beating up on him, and you know Sanborn is a guy that's he does the right things. He does his assignment.
Sometimes
he's just not as fast. He just doesn't get there as fast as somebody else. So you would have to ask yourself, would you rather go with a guy like James or Leofau? They may not be in the right place at the right time all the time, but they got enough speed to recover. So we did see those guys. I was curious about the cornerback change because if you just watch the film and just assume which cornerback would be the guy that gets benched, no, sorry, but I would think Kyrie Elam was the guy. Kyrie Elam was playing the worst out of the guys that you would assume. But Trey was the guy that sat down, and he came in and almost got his interception there.
And it was just for a series, right? I think he was
About a
back on.
series?
I think he was back on out there on the second series or third series.
Something like that. So I was like, okay, the change up at corner. I'll just say I respect the idea that there's willing to be change, and it's like week 4, and there's change. I remember back in the Jason Garrett days, Cheeto was giving you problems. We didn't see change like a bye week in week 9 or something like that. You know what I mean? So if you're seeing stuff in week 4 and you can make a difference, shoot your shot. I love it.
Yeah, real quick, I will mention this, and Coach Shoddy did say after the game that he's been challenging Trayvon on a few things recently, and part of it was the injury, part of it was they wanted to see more from him, and he said, I was happy to see what I saw in the game yesterday. But that's to your point. I actually like the fact that this coach is not afraid to say, hey, you might not miss the whole game, but we're going to limit your time. If you're not doing the things we're asking you to do, you might not get as many snaps as you thought you should get. And you're going to have to earn those snaps. And you're right, most NFL coaches are not willing to do that. I think it means a lot and he talks about culture a lot, but it means a lot to the culture when he says something and then actually doesn't follow through with it.
Well, if one thing we know about Trevon Diggs is the type of personality that he has, it does affect him when he sees either negative comments, and on social media we've seen him have a certain type of reaction with reporters and things like that when plays or bad plays are put down on display on Twitter. So hearing Schottenheimer address it in that way in front of the media, but giving him compliments and praising him and saying, hey, I'm proud of what you did. I'm proud of you for what you were able to do last night. And we know we've been on you, criticizing you and like on your back saying, get it together. Sure. But the fact that he verbalized that in front of the media, gave him praise, I think we're gonna see a more improved Trevon Diggs, and this is just my opinion, because those things matter to him.
Sure.
And he's gonna take that and go on to the next week and get back into getting more play time and all of that. But I also love the fact that Schottenheimer also shouted out the younger players. You mentioned Shamar. He was one. Liu Fao, the way we saw that tackle, the aggressiveness and those kinds of plays that you want to see. So the fact that the coach is noticing
We don't want
those
the penalty, but you want the aggressiveness.
Take the penalty if it wakes you up a little bit. Yeah, take
Amber was not happy about that penalty. I thought she was going to throw something.
It's so dumb. It's like,
was she mad? Does she like cuss in Spanish, or it's just like regular? She's just like, what are we doing?
I don't remember if you hit the Spanish last night. I don't remember. Did you?
Nah.
I know you were pissed though.
I cussed one time, and it was because we were discussing whether the Cowboys should have gone for 2.
Yeah.
After that,
I was really like they should have gone for 2. But.
Yeah, we were talking, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so. And then I just stare, and then like a minute later in silence, I'm like, F it, do it, go for 2. So
and both me and Nick like. Oh, all
right.
Okay. Is that the game we're doing now? Okay. All right.
No, but I just love, to your point there, it's just the way he addresses the team. And again, these younger guys, when we opened up the show, me talking about some of the promising things or exciting things that are happening on defense is those younger players that you see the speed, you see the aggressiveness, and you're like, okay, we can work with this. We can get something out of it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, he talked to Diggs because he wasn't happy with Diggs, what happened in that Bears game.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bears game, that the jam that he tried to do and missed and slipped, and that wasn't the technique. That's something he did absolutely on his own right there. So they were mad at him for that. And he after the game, he even says they asked him about, hey, what about not starting and all that? He says, hey, you need to talk to coach. The coach was very in the pregame show was talking about that. Hey, you cannot do those things. These are things we have to play within the scheme and have to do what we're, need to do there. But yeah, hey, the interception was a really nice play by him. Driving on the football, reading the route, and all that. It's really a shame that they couldn't get Leofau off the field. They got caught in a situation that kind of was a little bit of a bad situation, with the guys, because the Packers went like they used to do with the old Aaron Rodgers days and tried to catch with too many men on the field, and they went hurry up there and they caught Dallas there. So, but yeah, I mean he's going to have to know when to take chances and not when to when to play it safe and when to do what he has to do. But I thought that for the most part he played with some aggressiveness last night. There are people talk about the long run, the 18-yard touchdown run that they had late, that he kind of turned it down. He got turned around a little bit, but. Those are the things. I mean, defensive backs, it's tough. I mean, you gotta make those plays if you can. What I'll say though about the things you kind of saw a little bit differently last night, though, you did see more blitzing. And the question that I have though is when you do blitz, and you wonder, and I wonder why that maybe Matt Eberflus doesn't blitz as much. But they had a situation where the pass that went to the outside that Bland tried to knock down with his hand. It was Dobbs, and the ball was a blitz look, and so they ran the blitz, and Murray went right at the tackle, like he was trying to pick the tackle. But you would think that Fowler would come around into the gap, and where the gap was where Love stepped up to throw. And so it wasn't like Murray wasn't attacking; he was attacking the tackle to get Fowler home, but Fowler didn't loop. And so now you're thinking, okay, wait, did we have a blitz call, but then the lack of execution? Okay, what does that lead to? It leads to Love standing in the pocket and firing the ball the outside to Dobbs, and then Bland trying to play offhand and just miss it. So maybe these are some of the things that Eberflus is getting into a game. It's like, well, damn, I call a blitz, I call a pick to get Fowler home, and we don't get that executed well, and then ultimately you give up a pretty big play.
Take them off the field. Those
are the things you have to worry about. Are there things that are just is there calls that Eberflus are making that just aren't getting communicated? Like I'll give you another one real quick. The things you see differently: the 46-yard pass on the first drive. Murray is looking inside, James is on the field. Murray is looking at James like, what? And then by that time, it's Cooper is running up the receiver. Is running up the field. And so he's going to get the football, and now you're in trouble right there with the coverage because you're not sure what's happening at snap. So it's kind of a crazy situation. You maybe you think like, well, he's trying, but where's the communication? Where's the execution?
Do you think the changes made a difference, though? I mean, at the end of the night, because I look at the
You need
defense,
more James out there.
Yeah.
You do need more. He seems like that he kind of has an understanding of where, because he was communicating to Murray that that's your area. Let's go. And he was late, but he seems like to me when he was on the field, the very last play of the game, they had Thomas and Bell at the safeties. I mean, it was you're thinking, well, here we go, but I think there were some things that they were able to do. Clowney wasn't a bunch, but there were some things that Clowney was able to kind of do to kind of try and give you a little bit pass rush. His balance isn't really good, but you can kind of expect that right now. He's just trying to get his football legs back. And but man, they need to do a better job if they can. The changes they made, if they could take advantage of when they attack the pocket, like I was talking about, execute it to maybe get somebody home.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think Shotty will make a change this week, Brian? Like maybe less Murray and even more less Murray and Sanborn?
I think so.
And more Leofile James?
Yeah, I think so.
Clark maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll see how the Jets play. The Jets play tonight. We'll see how. I need to take a peek, and you'll take a peek at their offense to see if, in fact. But, the one thing that it did was, me personally, I kind of felt like their defense the first half was better than the second half defense. Even though there seemed to be a little bit more pressure and stuff like that, though. The way they were able to, this team has got to finish, man. You get, Solomon Thomas gets home on the rush, and then Love is kind of dodging him, and now it's out the gate for a big run. Yeah. You've got to find a way. When you get back there, Sam Williams, you can't grab his face mask.
Penalties hurt.
You can't do that.
Leofile, Sam,
you can't
and
do that. You're
12 men.
Negative plays.
I did see Donovan Wilson going up to Sam Williams and trying to calm him down and be like, hey, nah. Like, keep him off from trying to punch somebody or whatever, which it was surprising because we're just seeing a mature Donovan Wilson. That
I feel you, but this is Sam's 4th year.
Yeah.
In week 4, I'm sick of it. You know what I'm saying? Coach, please.
And this is why changes will be made, because all of a sudden, you're right, you're in week 4, and now Sam Williams dropped far more in coverage and dropped back than he did like the pass rush stuff. That was something different, that sim pressure, that kind of stuff that they do. So, yeah, I mean, if they could do that, they try to take advantage of a compromised offensive line. And for the most part, that Houston rush right before half, man, it was a thing of beauty.
Yep.
We've been looking for that first step, explosive, bend, get around the corner, knock the ball loose.
Yep.
That was perfect.
All right. We appreciate you guys. Jonas will be back tomorrow. We're going to dive a little deeper. We're going to do a little shining star, falling star tomorrow.
Derek trying to get up out of here.
No. Honestly,
Derek's hungry.
Honestly, I think tomorrow I want to go a lot deeper into some of these player evaluations, because I think there's so many players that are playing right now that I think a lot of our listeners want to know, like, what you guys think on how they're playing, how they're preparing to play each week, and what you're seeing on the field. And there are guys all up and down this roster on the offensive and defensive side I think we can talk about. We'll do a lot of that tomorrow.
Give us some names and we'll break them down. We'll hyper-focus on them.
I will. I will. I'll have some stuff for you guys. All right, till then, for Vach Lombardi, Brian Broaddus, Amber Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!